Happy Saturday. The Saturday. And we're in March, so yeah, sorry, I had to check something. We be in March. Hang on. Always grand when they're like, where's the doggo? But yeah. Done my usual. Been training on Pokemon. Then I'm like deciding how to do my team and realizing that I'm going to probably use none of the ones that I've got currently. Wouldn't mind a Gengar, but again, that's a Pokemon through trade. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a somewhat balanced team, or at least ones that can learn like moves that are different from their own like type. I tend to like it where everyone has at least one move that can learn something that potentially, if they're going against something they're weak against, then I at least have a thing that they're weak against. So yeah. But yeah. I tried to stay up and do things in the early morning, like always. But it was one of those where I was so tired, I laid on the bed for a bit, and then that turned into a few hours. I woke up partially with like a lot of sleepy dust, actually, in just one eye. That it was a lot considering I only dozed off for a few hours, so I must have been knackered. And then I was like, oh, I should probably just go to bed. So I did. And then I woke up at like 9, 10, 11 kind of thing. Sorbs. Welcome in. Hello. It be the weekend. Another weekend. Oh. But yeah, this week's definitely been one of the more tiring weeks. Doesn't help that I'm kind of on my own for 2 of the 5 days. Yeah, I think go okay. I like dozed off in the early hours of the morning, because that's when I try to stay awake longer, just so I have more time of doing whatever. But I dozed off for a while. And then I decided I'd just go to bed, because it was like 4 something in the morning. I was like, I need to rest. I will say, I yawn very little when I'm doing other things. Like, I yawn when I'm tired and waking up, sure. But like, I've been awake for a bit now, and I tend not to yawn at all. As always, as soon as it comes to ASMR, I just end up yawning. But I'd been training on Pokemon. Like, everyone's a bit stronger. Sort of. I'm in the process of leveling up Magikarp, because it needs leveling badly. But ironically, when I was looking through the 151 that there are, although I'm just going to say 149 because I'm not going to bother with Mew or Mewtwo. So, well, there's a bunch of them I can't bother with due to traits. But when I was looking through them all, I was like, my team I was sort of going to go for is nothing like what I've got now. Well, the only one I was going to end up keeping was like Primate. When I end up having it, I think it was Primate. Mankey's evolved form. Because I need a fighting type. Maybe. Unless someone else can learn a fighting move. Actually, if someone else can learn a fighting move, I might be okay. But I'm definitely gonna have Dragonite and Snorlax, because they're good. Maybe a Lapras. Water Pokemon are hard to pick, Because there's quite a few I do like. But Lapras tends to be nice. Hey, big chum. Welcome in. Yeah, I'll figure a team eventually. Although I don't know where I catch half of them. I'd have to look that up. But yeah. A what? Oh. Oh, I think I get what you're going for with the spelling. Ah. More. Boop. Aha. Yeah, I get what you're going for. Everybody's human though, doesn't really matter what you are, really. When I think about it, I think it was only Pokemon Yellow where you could have all the starters in the actual game, because you'd end up finding people that would be like, oh, here you go. Got to love people's views. Not really the greatest mentality to have. This is why people like other animals. for the headpads. depends on the person, I feel. Congrats on the first bugger. I'm sure it's not a problem. the charge. Min Ventus. Thank you for the follow.
That was the tongue drum
Of sorts. Heartbeats, you say? Been a while since I've done the heartbeats. Everyone's heartbeats.
Excuse me, there is a big spider going on my desk. What are you doing down here? Scared the bejeebers out of me. Hang on, let me deal with this spider. Thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. And, yeah. Don't mind if you are shy. I don't force anyone to talk if they don't want to. But, whack 'em in. And, yeah, just chill, basically. Minus that spider coming out of nowhere. It had very long, thin legs. It came from above. I was just doing that. I was doing the loofahs, and then, like, not on top of them, but very close to where I was rubbing them on the mic. It was just coming down very slowly, and I was like, oh. Thing came out of nowhere. Potentially. I don't mind smaller spiders. And ironically, I'm fine with bigger ones, like tarantulas, because their legs are pretty thick. It's the needle-like, long-leg spiders I'm not that great with. Although I don't really kill anything. The only thing I will actively kill is daddy longlegs, which is basically a fly, not a spider, because they have their legs are far too long and their wings are too long, and or their wings are too small, and they can't like do things properly and like to bump into you a lot. I hate it. But yeah, that was just I guess a more normal spider. It was being very cautious. Well, just moving slowly. But like, it went from where my microphone is, journeyed all the way across over to my keyboard, and was going towards the cork, and I'm just like, why are you going over there? General ruling of my room. If you're a spider, stay on my wall and towards the upper regions of my room, and you are a-okay. Do not come down to my level there. There had been days where I feel like I kept, like, feeling cobwebs on me. Really did come out of nowhere though. Thank God it didn't come from above and then be directly in my face. I think that would have been worse. Even worse if it landed on me. I'd be like, like, I don't have arachnophobia. I just don't like needle-like things, and yeah, that's why I'm not big on anything that's like long and thin, like a needle. I don't like those. Big and chunky though, I'm fine. Although to be fair, if I saw a tarantula in my room, I'd question how, because those are certainly not common here. I'd be extremely cautious. But they do feel very different from how they look. Like, you'd think they were kind of prickly because of how they look, but it's not that way. It's very odd. I'm checking above now. How the hell did it even come from above? From where it was? That literally would be my ceiling. Crazy. It literally did what a spider does. I'm just very used to them coming from my wall and not dangling down. Holy moly. Oh. Yeah. It was very relaxing. And then that thing came out of nowhere. Those were the scratches. Hello, Epsilon. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, readers. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Was just doing some keyboard. But, give me a second. But welcome in. I hope you had a good stream. I hope everything was nice and relaxing. Oh. I see. Always nice. Hope you have a good rest. And thank you for raiding. I shall do my best to take care of everybody. I should do some clanging globes. Yeah, no worries. Lurk away. People lurk in my channel all the time, so you're more than welcome to. those were the clanging globes. sniffers. And I'll do the roofers after. Something about when I do sniffers. My heartbeat goes irregularly high. But then again, not the usual kind of breathing, is it? So let's hope a second spider doesn't appear out of nowhere this time. I sneezed. I have no idea how long I have to wait for that to disappear, because it's a loop thing. I'll have a drink quickly. Let's see if we can try again, I guess. I sneezed. I sneezed. Those were the loafers. Really should set a message for loafers because I can't talk when I do those. If you mean me, yeah, my day's going okay. Relaxing time finally, like away from work. And I've had my lunch already. Thank you for the headpats. Yeah. I've had my lunch. Not so much breakfast. I don't wake up early enough for breakfast on a weekend. As it tends to be late bed because I'm trying to at least enjoy my bit of time off. And then I'm just really tired, so I sleep. It's catch up. Yeah. Because the weekday I'm up at like 5 in the morning, so it takes me a while to get to sleep. So I tend to get about 4 or 5 hours sleep. So the weekend is my catch up. I will always try and have my lunch there. I like sandwiches too much. Glorious sandwiches. Hope the making of your breakfast and sorting your kids was okay. What do I usually put in? Nothing crazy, just like ham and salad cream or tuna. Very rarely is it like chicken and bacon or something. So it's either ham or tuna, pretty much, with the rare time of corned beef. But I usually have a sausage roll with it. Nom nom. Sausage roll and a packet of crisps. How many? Depends on who's made it. I think I put in less than other people, but I tend to put in like 3, because I tend to fold it, or I fold the edges depending on which side it's going on, and then the third one will just be folded on both sides because it's going in the middle to try and keep it even. That's what I do, at least. Yeah, good stuff. Does depend on the ham, though. If it's pretty small or pretty thin, then I may put in more than 3. But I try not to use too much. I used to put in like 2, but there was barely anything in the sandwich. So I was like, okay, I'll do 3 at least. enjoy mine. And I like having baguettes and such, as long as you've got like proper ingredients for those, because baguettes tend to be like a lot thicker, or at least the ones I have are pretty sturdy, so it's good to whack in a good amount of stuff in that thing. Now and again I have lettuce. Not on the weekday though, else, because that's a sandwich for, you know, work lunch, and by the time I'd get around to having it, the lettuce would be like soggy from the sour cream, so yeah, only if I'm about to have it. That was some bluey. Blowing. On a random note, it makes me laugh when people say a game is like dying because people are like playing it less, and it's like, well, people will play something for a time and then go play something else. Like, that's what happens when something new happens. If it's a style of game where, you know, updates are frequent, then they'll go back to it when it updates. Like, reporting that less people are playing something is, like, that's an obvious thing that's going to happen. Just amusing, that's all. Oh yeah, I grabbed the Pokemon Home thing, and then was wondering why I couldn't see anything from Leaf Green, and then remembered that it doesn't have the support from the get-go. They just announced that it would have that home support later. So I was like, oh, I'm glad I remembered.
see how things go.
Do some air cupping. Hello Laurie, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm doing well, thank you. That was the ear cupping. Yeah, I'm doing good. I had my bath, I've had my lunch, like, several hours ago, but yeah, I've done all bits and bobs, I guess. Sleep was good as well, I guess. I do like my sleep. And I trained a little bit more on leaf green. I mean, I know we sleep a lot, but yeah, I do like to... I like resting. It turns off my brain when I eventually fall asleep. Just nothing. Been seeing a lot of people enjoy Pokopia. looks cool. I just don't want to pay 60 quid for it. Which is difficult with Nintendo games because they tend not to really go down in price, which is the issue. Ugh, expensive. Because I had the feeling, I was like, oh, is it gonna be similar to basically Dragon Quest Builders? Because it's made by the people that worked on, well, the second one, at the very least. And you could see the similarities. But from watching people play, I mean, yeah, that is true. But I find it near enough any sort of... It's ironic to call it a first-party game when it was made by a third-party dev. But Nintendo are very... with the pricing of games, not exactly friendly, and they don't really have sales as often as everybody else, and if they do, it's not much. But I've at least watched more of it, which I feel is good in a way. I've not really been paying too much attention to it, but I've at least like glanced at it now and again while I've just been training. And it seems more like you just go from area to area doing a lot of different tasks, but it remembers each area that they actually are all connected. I don't know if that is how it was in 2. I only played the beginning of Builders 2. But I played the first Dragon Quest Builders, and the problem with the first Dragon Quest Builders was, for me, the fact that it gave you like a task or a quest to do, and then once you did it, it moved you to another area, almost like it was level based. So then you were sort of semi-starting from scratch every time, and it didn't really, you couldn't go to the old one and be like, oh yeah, let's, you know, I don't know, it was a weird one in Builders. I got stuck in it eventually anyway, because the items I was needing didn't spawn for whatever reason, so I actually got stuck. Don't know why. I even looked at a video of the thing that I was trying to find, and it was like, it's in this area, and yeah, I went exactly to where it was supposed to spawn and it just wasn't there. So I think my game broke at that time. But looking at that new one, it seems cool. People were saying about like it's similar to Animal Crossing as well, but for people that have played it, they're like, they could sort of see it, but it's not Animal Crossing. It's like, well, of course not. Made by the Builders guy. The only thing that looks similar is like the menuing. That's about it. But it seems cool, which is nice. But I have other games I've been waiting to play that comes out soon. Not that I will play it from the get-go, but there's Monster Hunter Stories 3, which looks really good. But I'm waiting for Fatal Frame 2 remake that comes out next week. So yeah, I've been waiting on that one. Let's see how that goes. I'm currently playing Leaf Green, so get through that, get through Fatal Frame, which will probably take me a little bit,
depends on how much I get stuck on the puzzles. See if I can remember any of them from back in the day. Although I never really did play 2, I just watched 2 a lot. Back when my friend had it on the Xbox? The original one? Pretty sure. Yeah, it was. But yeah, expensive as hell. It's like 60 quid. I refuse to pay 60 quid for a game. It's just... It could be a game I really enjoy, but that price tag is a lot. Like, if it's around 40... This is the thing. I'd say it's an improved version of Dragon Quest Builders 2, obviously. And it's got a lot of nice things in that game. Dragon Quest Builders, when it launched, regardless of time frame, 40 quid. 39.99 is what it came out for when it got released. So why does Nintendo charge an extra 20 quid? Oof. But it's Nintendo, they're always the ones raising the prices of games. And everyone follows suit like, oh look. It's like, no. I do have like, points. I have points saved up, and I could get it to go down to that if I used them. I know my points also don't last for very long, so maybe I will. The problem with it is that it's a very time-consuming game, and I'm not a bugger that streams like 10 plus hours when I'm playing something constantly, day in, day out. So I'd have to do a lot of like offline things, but that also seems not wise to do with that game. So I don't know. I do not know. At least with like normal Pokemon games, I can like just train somewhere in the same area for a bit, so I'm not actually ruining anything per se. Maybe I'll have to be a bit careful with 10, like if a Pokemon was to evolve. But I feel like I could still train, because if they go to evolve and I'm like, oh no, I want people to see this, then I can just, you know, stop them from evolving until next level. But yeah. Fatal Frame soon. And ironically, that game's releasing for like 45 quid? Like, that's good, considering it's meant to be a remake. Which honestly makes me believe that they took the Wii version and spruced it up a bit more. And that's what the remake is going to be. Because apparently the redone version of Fatal Frame 2 on the Wii never came out in America, apparently. It was just Europe that got it. And I'm like, oh. Interesting. Don't get why, but okay. So I wonder if that's what they've done. They've just taken the Wii one, spruced up the resolution, maybe tidied up the models a bit more. Or if they've actually bothered to remake it. We shall see. All I know is we're gonna be in dire need of running lessons yet again. And whenever we meet someone where we're like, no wait, they never listen. Ever. I can't tell if they're supposed to be possessed or if they just think we're some weird ghost. But it always ends up being with the protag being alone. But I'll have to play on hard, much to my dismay, because the endings are different depending on the difficulty. I forgot it's one of those games. So yeah, I'll have to play on hard. Save my soul. It's gonna be difficult. I remember getting stuck on a puzzle and it had been over half an hour. I just wasn't understanding the puzzle. I literally had to look it up. People were very nice and not spoiling things for me, but I think that was the time where I wanted people to flip and just tell me how to do the puzzle because I couldn't figure it out. And then even when I read up on the answer, I was just like trying to figure out. Okie dokie. Rest well, Red. Hello, Yagi. Oh, such 7 stream streak. Goodness, goodness. Hello. Hello, hello. It's okay, but to be fair, I mainly just look at the daily check-in thing, because then I see how many times you've like came in, and I'm like, oh. The stream streak thing is just Twitch's thing. Yeah, I'm doing well. I smell food. Thank you for the head pats. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a mixed bag. I do want to play Pocopia, but at the same time, I know it's gonna be the most time-consuming thing ever, because, you know, it's a lot of task-based stuff. Like, I've been watching a bit of Volpixie play it, and Shen was joining her here and there, and they've been playing it non-stop since it's been released, and they're still playing it. So and their streams are like 10 plus hours. My streams wouldn't be like that, and if I'm only to play when streaming, I'd be there forever. But I feel like it could be the kind of game where, as long as you don't do the main task at hand, like what would be considered the story, and you're just doing loads of tidbits even offline, maybe it's not a bad thing. I don't know. But I still need to get through Leaf Green, and the main reason I'm going through Leaf Green is because eventually it will have support for Pokemon Home, and then I can put the Pokemon on there I realise it's a paid service, but I could put the Pokemon on there, and then hopefully when the new Pokemon comes out next year, I can grab them and put them in there, I hope. Yeah, it was in one of the, like, sort of Nintendo Pokemon Special Direct anniversary thing. Like, not from the get-go, but they said that they'd give Pokemon Home support to the 2 games. So that'll be cool. That'll be the original 150 you can whack over. Because then, well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then obviously Fatal Frame 2 remake comes out next week, which is what I've been waiting for. So I'll be playing that for like a week. A week? That wouldn't be very long. I'll be playing that a lot, so yeah. And ironically, in the off time, whenever I'm not training, I've kind of gotten back into the mood of playing Tears of the Kingdom again. It's a very fun game, ironically. I never did finish it either, because I was trying to explore everywhere. Played that game for like 80, 90 hours and still didn't finish it. I'm surprised I managed to play it, considering. But it was good fun. Good fun. I didn't play that game on stream, Jesus. That'd take forever. I would definitely have to at least do 3 gaming streams if I was to play, well, most RPGs, honestly. Because then that would equate to like 12 hours. That would equate to, you know, a play session. I remember when I'd get games, and the ones I'd get into, I'd play for like, you know, 10 to 12 hours every day. Only watched this gameplay once while someone was streaming it. Gameplay. Oh, a good game that was on the Switch, Astral Chain, which was made by Platinum Games. So it was actually really good. I'm sad that it doesn't have like a Switch 2 patch or something to make it run better. Because it kind of needed it. I remember when I was playing it, I stopped playing when I got to like a side quest that required me to carry something to this person. But the thing is, it's like fragile stuff, so you can't drop it, and it takes use of like the Switch's gyro stuff, so you literally have to balance it while you're moving, and if you do any like strenuous movements, then your balance goes more out of whack quickly. But while you're carefully trying to balance things, and move the character around, like down and upstairs and through tunnels. The game likes to throw people who are running, trying to sprint at you constantly. Well, in segments, but oh, it was really difficult. But it's a cool game. It honestly is a cool game. Ironically, you played as a police officer. But you got to choose between male and female. And it just looked really cool, and the combat was interesting, because you had this weird thing connected to you to do attacks and stuff. It's hard to explain, but it's Platinum Games, so you know what their combat is like. It was good. I had good fun with it. I just lost it on a side mission. Like, oh, goodness. That's like one of those games where I wish it wasn't just stuck on a Nintendo console, because it was really good. But I'll have to check if it has, like, there may not be a proper patch, like, to take full advantage of the Switch 2, but I wonder if there's at least been, like, something. It'd be nice if that was the case. Here you go. Have you played it yet, or has it just been installed? Also, which one is it? I actually forget which versions there were. I'd need to my brain. I like how if I just put CS, it comes up with Counter-Strike 2, but not the other Counter-Strike. What did we have anyway? Oh god, it's been so long. Way too long. Ah, CS2. Okay. Thank you for the head pats. Odd. Played it. How did it go? Did you enjoy playing it? The fact that CSGO is seen as the legacy. I mean, I get it. It's just funny when you see it as legacy version. Ah, the good old cleanup. Also, holy moly, that I feel like that took a while to feed them, but I'm glad you got them fed. Huzzah! Struggling with it. They're not suited for your laptop. Yeah, I can imagine. They did update a few things compared to its original. It was working somehow, as it should be. Pancakes and hash browns. What a combo. I haven't had pancakes in a long time. Hash browns though. I do like hash browns. They're nice. Played a few and it wasn't too bad. Nice. I'm glad it works. That's when you know it's a Valve game. When you can just tweak things and actually get it running. That sounds right for Valve. I'm still allergic to the number 3 though. Hey, 40's more than 30. I'll take it. 50 ping. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Why am I being bitten? What did I do? What did I do? $50 ping. It's like when I play Enfield. I'm usually like between 0 and 21 ping. I don't get how I have these magical ping numbers, but I'll take it. Oh, 50's not ideal. 50's not good. Sad days. You just bite everyone. Ah, I see. $120. Also, funny because both of those countries are at war at the moment, but yeah. Get super ping, Yagi. Super ping. So much ping that even the people going after you can't even deal with it. And you just learn to deal with the super ping. Like, they'll go to shoot you and you'll be like, why are they shooting over there? And it's because on their end, you're over there. Exactly. Oh, negative ping. Does negative ping exist? I like it. I've had such ping before where you're moving and then the game sort of like you're still moving, but it feels a bit like stuttery, and then suddenly you speed off and all the animations go really quickly. So it's playing catch up basically. Oh, those were the days. Those were some good days. All I knew is just don't stop doing things, because it still technically accepts your input and is registering it. Yeah. So.
Hiro! Hello! Welcome in. A random headshot will connect. I'm so bad at headshots, I usually just aim at the chest, because I'm more likely to get more hits in hitting the chest than anything else. Ah yes, Valorant, which is CS with powers, basically. You ordered 2? Is one a backup, or is one for something else? I'm too used to CS. I mean, when you've played a lot of one game and you're trying to go to something else that's sort of similar, I imagine it's a bit difficult. Ah, okay. I see. I remember when I got my new phone and someone said to me, "Aren't you getting a case?" I'm like, "No, why would I?" They're like, "To stop it falling if you drop it on the ground." I'm like, "I won't drop it on the ground." Ironically, I have dropped it once on the ground. Once. But luckily the bit it landed on was the titanium side, because that's the only part of the phone that's titanium. But it landed on it, so I was like, yay, thank God it landed on that. But in all the time that I've had it, for a few years I think now, I've only dropped it once, and that was because it literally felt like it was going in a pocket. So I don't make that mistake again. I stare at it until I see it go into the pocket. Heavy duty. Those cost quite a bit, don't they? I was tempted to maybe get a proper phone case for it, but I don't use my phone, so it's kind of pointless. Oh, $10? Damn. Okay. The case I looked at, that's like supposedly military grade, which doesn't mean much, and really, they were charging like 50 quid for it. But everything in this country is expensive, so. $2,000. I think if you were to play a different shooter, it would have to be quite different from CS, so that it doesn't entirely link with you. Because Valorant is very similar to CS. Like $2 to $3. Ah, okay. Android. The only Apple phone is for, well, it never leaves. It never leaves its station, so it's not right to call it a phone. But yeah. Android phone. Honestly, if it weren't for like some people, I wouldn't even really have a phone, because I just don't use it. Yours is the S24. Mine is the I think mine's the Ultra version of that phone. A lot of people who played CS for over 10k hours said you'll have an easier time with Valorant, but you're just bad. Maybe because half the time, like, CS players kind of know how to aim, usually, within the game, whereas Valorant players probably haven't played CS before. Maybe that's where they're basing it from. I'm just terrible at aiming. I wouldn't play those games. Marvel Rivals. I got the name of Marvel Rivals wrong at one point when I was trying to remember it. I think I called it like Marvel Heroes or something. A Google Pixel. I'm trying to make sure I stay away from Google-based things, although my phone is full of the stuff, but again, I barely use my phone, so I'm not too worried. So any of the main stuff is too much for you? Too chaotic? That's fair. A lot can go on in those games, whereas games like Counter-Strike is more sit and wait a lot of the time, and then engage. There's like it's almost like the flow of battle in CS is more burst, whereas things like Apex and Overwatch and Marvel Rivals is constant and very kinetic. You're good at sniper. I am also good at sniper. If you don't rush me. If you give me time, if I'm stealthing and not under pressure, I am good with sniping. You know, things like Sniper Elite and stuff like that. It was Sniper Elite, wasn't my I don't know what it is with my brain and streaming. Snipper. Oh, I double spaced. Yeah, it was Sniper Elite. Okay, I remembered correctly. Silent Scope? I don't think I did. No, I do not believe I have. Oh, definitely not though. Definitely not then. What did I play on PS2? The only kind of pew pew I played on PS2, the only one I can remember is
Quake 3? No. Not 3. Quake Arena? I forget. Black? Oh yeah, Black. I've played Black. Yeah. Yeah, I've played Black by Citron Games. Black was intense. Explosions and things happening, everything was very... like the sound was just bonkers for it. I remember just throwing a grenade in a building and then the building just exploded. I forgot about Black. I know I played Time Splitters. Definitely played Time Splitters. But that was mainly on the Xbox. But I know it was on PS2 as well. Yeah, I played Black. What else? Time Crisis. That's an on-rail shooter though. But I did play one of them. Because I had the light gun. And the light gun was really cool. Like, really cool. You heard recently all PlayStation games are gonna be PlayStation exclusives from now on? From now on? Hopefully not. Like, why would PlayStation backtrack? They have started sharing across the board. Well, you know, like, putting it on PC at least. Like, they're usually exclusive for a time, like temporary, timed exclusives. They won't come. Why? Because Xbox will have access to Steam? Really? Honestly, why don't they all just get along? Yeah, Sony sort of was okay with Steam, like, putting some of their games on there. But they really don't like sharing with Microsoft. That's so stupid. They better not do that with Stellar Blade 2. Because the best version is on PC. Oh, I think I'm understanding why they don't like having the games be on. It's easier to mod when you put something on PC. Yeah, Nintendo's always done their own thing, and they do their own thing. It's very confusing. But that's really silly. Like, they've made good sales on PC. That's such a silly business decision. Like, as a business, I would have gone, this is a silly decision to make things... I mean, I'm semi-understanding their sales are probably being more lackluster, and as more of their exclusives have been coming to Steam, they're probably looking at ways for people to solely get their console. That honestly wouldn't surprise me if that's also one of the reasons. But Xbox has been struggling for ages, like, well, they shouldn't care what Xbox does. I mean, I've not really touched my PS5, but I think that's just because of how I've got my room set up, like, because it's more awkward to use my TV now, I just end up not really touching it. Ugh. Well, at least Death Stranding 2 is still coming to PC. But yeah, I hope that Stellar Blade 2 does eventually come to PC, because yes, PlayStation publishes it, but they don't make it. So I feel like it's up to that dev, it's up to Shift Up to be like, yeah, we're putting this on PC because it's our game. Like so I'm hoping they stick with that, because the sales on PC have been good enough. So yeah. But I will also blame the fact of their management's been ass lately. Yeah, a lot of stuff was still on the fall. I can't even remember why I got a 5, to be honest. Not sure. Not sure. But like, take Horizons 2, or Horizon 2, sorry, not the racing game, the RPG thingy with Aloy. Like, they expanded on the game world. There's just more of everything in that game, and it's cool. However, her character went backwards. Like, the way the end of 1 was going was how she was sort of relying on others to help her out, even though she was in yeah, Zero Dawn was the first one. Horizons, or Horizon 2, I've forgotten its name. The second one. Well, the end of the first one was basically like, she couldn't do everything on her own, it's good to rely on others. In the second game, somehow her character went backwards, and was like, I don't need any of you to help me, even though they were willing. Forbidden West, yes. That one. Yeah, her character went backwards, and was like, I know everything, none of you truly know what's going on, you can't help me properly, blah blah blah. But then she steadily, it's meant to be the character arc of her, like, trusting others to help and not doing everything on her own. But I'm like, shouldn't she have already learned this from the first game? Why is she going through this again? So, her character's very meh. But the world itself, and everything in it, is alright, not bad. If I was to place worlds I've had fun exploring in, because I'm an explorer, I like exploring, I would say it goes like, Tears of the Kingdom has been the most fun I have exploring in a world. Elden Ring, to some degree, because it just kept going on and on and on. And then, like, Forbidden West. Yeah, that's my order, I think I'd put, for fun times exploring. But it was very bizarre. Like, I would have thought in the second game she would have just been like, yeah, join me, we can do this. Not, yeah, stay away from me, I can do this on my own, go away. Maybe it was supposed to be her getting concerned that because she cares for the people, she doesn't want them to die or something, and it's like, yeah, but pushing them away ain't gonna help you. So, not a fun thing to go through. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I just get games as they pop out of like ones that interest me and I just grab them. Well, within restraint. I used to just grab them willy-nilly. But no, I've been more like careful in my purchases. Because before it was just, I'd buy it to just have something to pass the time, but since I've been streaming, that takes like a bit of time. So in a way I'm able to enjoy my games a bit more. Mine's just dependent on if I really feel I want to play. Like, I never really look at reviews or anything. Although I won't buy new. I definitely won't buy new. Because I ain't paying full price. That's ridiculous. Ah yeah, that's fair. That's also why I tend to, for the most part, stay away from early access games, because I've never agreed with that method, paying to basically beta test the game, but from how it works in this day and age, it's no longer a beta test. If you're paying for something and you have access to the entirety of the game, that's no longer a beta test in my opinion. You've launched the game as far as I'm concerned. So I just try not to touch early access games and try to wait till they're done, or when it's considered done. Professional reviews. There's no such thing as a professional review. The thing with games is they're a form of art and they're also just extremely subjective. So there's no point looking at such things. But with people that have opinions on things, I have a few people I try to alternate with, because I find it's important to have different views. So like, I'm not just gonna have a person with, oh yeah, I usually agree with this person, so I'm just only gonna watch them. Like, I'll also find someone who can also make good points, but from the other side. So then I can get, you know, a more wide opinion on how a thing is. Yeah, professional reviewers are usually, especially if they're a journalist, they ain't gamers, it's just their day job at that point. They're just there to, I don't know, be awkward. An ether charge? Oh. Yeah, exactly. They get paid for that sort of thing, so yeah, I'm good. I never watch reviewers or anything. Especially when they make it clickbaity as hell. That's why I just look at games. Well, I've played games long enough that I know what I like and what I dislike. And also how things used to be. So, it's just like... I don't need someone to tell me, you know, what is good and bad in a game. Or how I should feel toward a game. That definitely should never be told. I don't even watch them. I just don't watch anybody. Hey Rain. For reviews, I mean. I don't watch anybody. I am my review. The only thing I may watch is stuff to do with performance. That's the only thing I'm gonna watch. Although I also take that with a grain of salt, because half the time when people mention about bad performance, I don't usually get it on my PC, so that's always a grain of salt anyway. But considering how most games are nowadays, just assume it's usually bad, probably. Okie dokie. Hello, Rain. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, of course it has. Everyone keeps using weird lingo from the internet, and I'm just like, it's baffling. It's baffling. Oh. But yeah, I'll go for a bit longer, and then I'll stop soon. But yeah, people are weird. People are weird, I already know this. That's adorable. What is that, Rain? Such hugs. You can easily tell a book was written in the 80s versus a book written in the 2000s or 2010s. Very different times as well, though. Like, especially as the 80s was like a golden era. There's a reason not much was like the 80s. Like, it's when the world didn't care about a lot of things and everyone was just granted to do whatever they wanted. So yeah, the 80s is a very unique decade. What is that? Is that what I think it is? Well, it's a bit different than what I thought it was, but that's also a nice hug. Yeah, that is true. I mean, gaming almost died in the 80s. Quite funny. It almost died. Then I think people were just a bit more careful. Yeah, the arcades did. Yeah, it's like, oh, we can play games at home? Oh, why would we go to the arcades? Can you imagine if home consoles were never made? And it sort of just stuck to PCs doing their own thing. So you'd have the PC-centric games, you know, the ones you'd usually expect on a PC. And then arcades are where you'd go to play games. That would be a very different direction. That is true. But people would still be going out in masses, in troves. Especially if it took off. Like, I assume game arcades, or places where they have game arcades, would have become way more dedicated. Yeah, it's a shame a lot of the arcades in Japan have like shut down as well. Like, those places are history of gaming, and they've slowly like they're slowly disappearing. And eventually they're probably not going to be around anymore. It'd be the kind of thing where you'd find a tiny store in some hidden alley or something, and it just has like a few select arcades. That's what I can see happening. Like, you'd have to go out of your way to find this hidden treasure. And who knows what games they'd have for the arcade. If they'd smart... There's two ways to go about it. They'd either have the dedicated arcade thingies, which are going to take a lot of space, or you just sort of have one that is technically a PC, an older PC, but it would have basically emulation on it for the different games. Hey Toby, hello. It goes okay. Been babbling about games. Because in a different note, Slay the Spire 2 has come out, hasn't it? It was on Steam's main page. Not that I ever played the first one, but yes. Yes, yes. It's a lot of fun. Oh, good to hear. Always good to hear. Takes some coordination. Interesting. Sounds dangerous. Like you could be screwed by someone else. Debuff. Debuff. Oh, hang on.
Oh. There are cards that give X to another player. X marks the spot. I know it's to mention, you know, random number, but yeah. Also, I have butter chicken. Yes. Butter chicken. Why is it called butter chicken when it doesn't even taste like butter? Do people like butter chicken? I also have some naans and some poppadoms. Well, sorry, mini naans. Yeah, mini naans and some poppadoms. Exactly. Yeah. I was fancying having some naans, to be fair. Mini ones are a bit different, but I'll take them. It's still a naan. It is nice. It is nice. It does not taste like butter. They do, yeah, but like it's not gonna be like you like took a spoonful of butter or something and put it directly in your mouth. It's not gonna taste like that. Yeah. It's nice. It has like herbs and spices and such as well. Although that's dependent on the person making the food, I feel, for the herbs and spices. Herb. But I was gonna end around 3:30 anyway, length of time, which is now, and food has arrived, so that's kind of good timing, I suppose. After all, I get yelled at for not having hot food. Oh, I don't think it might have been from the Monday. I ended up having like a shepherd's pie. But I think on the Monday, maybe, I had a shepherd's pie. But it was done to like kind of my flavour. So instead of it being like with its typical the mince gravy flavour it usually has, the base flavour, mine was done to have a tomatoey flavour, because that's much better for me. And it was done in like this quite, it was in this spherical, oh god, what's it called? It was like a dedicated thing for having shepherd's pie inside of it. But regardless, because obviously it's in a sealed like thing, it maintained its heat even though I made a giant hole in it. And heck, I let it sit there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I tried having a go at it, and yeah, obviously it was still holding all its heat, even as I was going through it, like eating it. I was told, if you can't eat it all, don't worry, you can have it tomorrow. But I was determined to eat it all. I think it's the fullest I've been in an exceedingly long time. There was a lot of it. A lot. Because, yeah, so it was like tomatoey mince. Because we put, like, sauce in there, so tomatoey mince with the usual stuff of what a shepherd's pie would have, of the mashed potato, and then with cheese on the top, because it's nice to have cheese, with some carrots outside the shepherd's pie, so I had it with carrots. It was nice. It was exceedingly filling, very, very filling, and very hot. Very hot. It had a kick to it as well, because the sauce they were using, the tomatoey one, had a bit of a kick, because there's like, there's peppers in it. So it has a bit of a, like a tang to it for your tongue. So I was like, oh. So yeah, it was very nice. I enjoyed it. But yes, yes, take care, Rain. I shall be disappearing too. I shall look for someone to raid. But take care, have a good rest of your day. Make sure to have food and drink plenty. Yes, drink plenty. I shall find someone to raid. Enjoy your time. Yeah, it's good to stay hydrated when you're at conventions. It is important. Weed! We shall not think and just raid. Her outfits are getting hilarious, but we'll go raid Noodle. But yes, thank you for being here as well. Thank you for the follows, and thank you for the raid earlier. I'll make sure to do all the stuff later. My YouTube's there, where all my VODs are. Discord is there if you're interested. The raid message is there, and the one with the hearts is if you're not subbed. Yeah. And go check out Miori if you haven't already. They kindly raided us earlier. But yes, take care everybody, keep the liquids up. More Pokemon on Tuesday. I would have trained massively by then, but yes. But yeah, enjoy your weekends, stay safe, I'll see you all when I do. Yeah, bye bye, bye bye. Whoa.